Yes, everyone, welcome back to Wigan Weekly. There's been quite a long break from our usual weekly podcast. It's been about 2 weeks since last podcast. I'm joined by Curtis. We'll talk about today. Are you right, Curtis? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. Yourself? It's been unfortunate we've had such a delay between the episodes, but stuff's happened, and this is the earliest convenience to be able to get it all sorted again. So let's get caught up to speed, I say.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, we'll crack straight on. It was so the last time we podcasted, we gave our preview for the Cambridge game. That's been and gone. That was when was that? I think it was the 8th of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of result, wasn't ideal. Well, I don't know. It was an ideal. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really. I don't know how to describe it. To be honest. I mean, 1-0 win, scraped it. Wasn't deserved though. I don't think.
Yeah, you could certainly say that. It was definitely one of the more fluky goals. We were quite lucky, but 3 points is 3 points. Coming up to the final games of the season, we'll take what we can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And also a first goal for the mighty Luke Robinson, who won to for his first professional goal in football. So I'm sure he's over the moon with that. In terms of in terms of what it's done to us, I mean, it's not really. I mean, it wasn't really. I mean, obviously on paper, yeah, we should have beat them and we did, so that's something. But like I say, stats wise, possession was only just in our favour. They had more shots, so there was more on target. We had more passes. Um, I mean, they had 9 corners to 5, so you could argue that Cambridge weren't very clinical, but they did cause problems. We weren't good enough, but we got there in the end. I mean, I've got to add to that, Curtis. Oh yeah, and one thing actually to add: Luke Chambers, of course, he returned, didn't he?
Yep, he certainly did. And, it was refreshing to see him back in playing. It certainly added a bit to the game, I think. Even though, it wasn't a brightest of performances, it was great.
Yeah.
It was just great to see him back.
He didn't really do much, but yeah, he was nice to see him back. Nevertheless, fans were certainly happy to see him back from the cheers when his name was called. So I think with that, we can swiftly move on to the
Can we?
weekend.
Can we?
Well,
Can we just quickly add something else? Yeah. So I'm looking back on our predictions for that, and you actually got the score prediction right for the Cambridge game, which congratulations for. But I mean, I said 1-1, and I just want to quickly mention that according to 11v11, that was the first time we'd kept a clean sheet against Cambridge in a league game.
wow.
Quite the stat.
Yeah, it's not much start, I guess. Yeah.
I just thought I'd add it for a bit of fun. But yeah, it was yeah. Because in every single game that we've played against them, they've scored at least one. Just thought I'd put that out there. But yeah, go on. We can move on now.
Well, one thing I will add: Cambridge certainly better than you'd expect them to be. I mean, certainly struggling in the table. Obviously, I mean, where are Cambridge at time recording now? They're about 22nd, are they?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Hang on, I'm going to quickly double check that right. Cambridge at time recording are currently 23rd, 29 points. I mean that was their third win in a row, their third defeat in a row. So yeah, form's not there for them. Obviously, the Charlton are getting rid of Gary Monk, and I mean it isn't really cutting it really at the moment, the performances. But yeah, we will move on to last week. So the weekend just gone game, which was Wigan Athletic versus Charlton Athletic, the battle of the Athletics, which was at the Valley, and it ended Charlton 2, Wigan 1. Initial thoughts on that, Curtis?
I think I think it was to be expected, because Charlton are, in the playoff places, so they've certainly got a lot going for them. And I think, unfortunate result for us, but you've got to look at the table. It speaks volumes in terms of the game and how we'd expect them to play and perform.
We didn't play too badly. Possession was only just in their favour. They had 5 shots, 3 on target, fairly clinical. They had 9 shots, 5 on target. Obviously, it was a brace for Matt Godwin. There was a bit of confusion as to who scored that second goal. Few said it was Gillespie, but apparently it was Godwin. Obviously, Chrissy got one back for us late on. Very surprising to see him score a sheet. Do you agree?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's the thing with a couple of the recent games. It's been like the most unexpected people to score. And you know what? I'm all here for it. It's good to see some different names on the score sheet.
Definitely. Speaking of Van Massoud, it's very interesting to see John Mellish moving so far up pitch to striker to cam to the wing. It's a bit mad, really. I mean, obviously he's got track record of scoring a hat trick from that position with Carlisle, so clearly something worked there. But is it going to work at Wigan, do you think? And is that something that you think will be influenced in the future?
I don't know. It's completely down to the new head coach Ryan Lowe. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics he brings into the squad going forward. And you know what? I'm all here for it. Especially when it comes to the summer, it'll be interesting to see who he brings in and kicks out.
Yeah, it will be. I do think that. I think Charlton. It was never going to be a game we were going to, be going to. I think we could have probably pushed for a draw, but we move on. Obviously, I think with Charlton, there's certainly fair to say that the playoffs are in their reach if they carry on the way they are. But do you think they'll get the playoff place come into the season?
I think it's certainly going to be an interesting one for them because they're currently, with about 5 points up in that zone. And looking at their final fixture of the season, a lot of these teams, they've got potential to pick up points against, like the likes of Mansfield, Cambridge, Burton. There's a couple of top of the table clashes with Wrexham and Wickham. So it's certainly going to be a mixed bag for them. But I think considering their recent form, which is 4 wins and 1 draw, I think they've got potential to stay up there and get them playoffs.
Yeah, I think they do. Obviously, like you say, a lot of pressure from other teams, and it's about. I think it's just about the performance now. Every game needs to be a result. You can't afford to be getting beat at this stage. So they clearly did. They clearly wanted to do business against us, and they certainly achieved it, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did.
So obviously, in between that, obviously, we had Sean Maloney gone. Still quite surprised at that. I'm not gonna lie. It's still not sunk in that properly yet, to be honest. Glenn Whelan took interim charge, and of course, we appointed Ryan Lowe, who wasn't my initial first choice. I think he was the club's first choice, but obviously wasn't my first choice. But in terms of the appointment, what do you think? Is it a positive move? Is it a negative move?
Personally, I think it's really one that time will tell. Going off his managerial record, he's got 2 League Two promotions under his belt, which is certainly something that is going to look appealing to the board when they decided to bring him in. Not to mention that he's also got a good relationship with the sporting director, Gregor, but that's not really relevant. I think last season, well, for the last 3 seasons, he was at Preston North End, and last season in the Championship, he got them a 10th place finish. And the Preston fans, they give him a bit of stick, but I think sometimes got to give a bit of credit where it's due because for about 3 consecutive games last season, they were literally at the top of the table. And unfortunately, near the end of the season, they lost all 5 of their last games, which if they didn't, they'd have easily been in the playoff contentions, which is unfortunate. But I think, ultimately with Ryan Lowe, it's just down to what he brings to the squad, especially sort of next season, because I don't expect much from him this season. I'd expect him to just get a couple more wins in, keep us up there, and then next season is where I'd start to form my opinion and judge his tactics.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen so much about a lot of Preston fans, saying, "Oh, a poor appointment, lads. He'll ruin your club." And I think it's just a bit. It's a lack of respect for me, in my opinion, because I genuinely think that Ryan Lowe was one of the best Preston managers in. Well, yeah, since promotion to the Championship, you can't really. I don't think you can diss him too much because the club aren't even close to that. No.
Yeah, I suppose you can't really do that, but then again, we don't particularly know what sort of terms he left on. We don't know the full ins and outs. There might be specific reasons why some of the Preston fans are, against him. each to their own is all I can say.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I think Ryan Lowe already he's informed us that he will have he's guaranteed a busy summer. I mean whether or not he'll stick to his word is unknown. I feel like having a busy summer is a very big, bold statement, but a lot of people now arguing that maybe Sean Maloney was backed, and maybe his transfer activity and his method of signing players wasn't the best. Maybe he didn't make right options. Maybe he was backed. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. What do you think, Matt Curtis? And do you agree with that to some extent?
Potentially, yes. We don't know the full ins and outs from the board, and if we did know that, then obviously we could make a much fairer judgment. And I don't for 1 minute think that the club wouldn't have, given him some sort of backing. But like you say, sometimes when you look at what he's done, like especially like some of the hour mark substitutions, like you're questioning why is he taking off some of the good players. It's like that. It's like he was killing the game off a bit. Some people would say so. It seems like it could go either way. And I think with Ryan Lowe as well, I just want to put this out there. I think that the club were they were probably good to get him in because you're looking at the league now, and since his appointment, there's been another 2 manager sackings in the league. The Barnsley manager was sacked, and tonight the Crawley manager was sacked. So there's certainly going to be competition and a lot of changeovers going on in the managerial space.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just think that it's interesting, it's exciting, it's also a bit daunting because I feel like Ryan Lowe is coming to a team that are definitely not quite as good as what he's been used to. I know that he had to rebuild Plymouth and Bury, but I know I think this will be a difficult job, but it's important that I think he builds a positive relationship with the fans quickly, and he gains their trust, and also he can gain their respect and confidence quickly. But that will take time, and that obviously will be reflected by the performances. His first game is, of course, Barnsley, which is a week this coming Saturday. We will be there backing him, and I'm hopeful that he can deliver in his first game. Are you?
Yeah, certainly. I when people come into the club, you want to see them do well, and I think our fan base has been quite welcoming. I'd say, when the announcement post came out, like there wasn't too much negativity going about. It was mainly the Preston fans who were slating him, which we can't fully judge them for that because obviously we don't follow the ins and outs of Preston, so it is what it is on that front. But yeah, we'll be there for his first game against Barnsley, backing him. And yeah, I do wish him some success. And I think, he wouldn't have come to the club if he wasn't going to get any backing. So it just is what it is, really.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you want to do the preview for the upcoming game at the weekend? Well, sorry, not weekend. Barnsley game, or should we do that for next week?
We should probably leave that for next week because there might be, a new manager by the time we get closer to the game. You never know.
Yeah, but I think one final thing I will end on, a couple of news articles from the Football League World, which is a fairly reliable source. I've not read too much from there, which I wouldn't agree with. The main one I'm reading is that Charlton Athletic have been urged by their recruitment team to push for Sam Tickle in the summer. Personally, that all depends on if they get promotion, in my opinion, because I feel like if they stay in League One, why would he want to go back? I feel like staying in League One for him going backwards. He wants to go forward to the Championship. So, what do you think? What do you think about Curtis?
I would second what you say. It ultimately depends if they get promoted, but then again, if he went to Charlton, I don't know many ins and outs about their players, but would he be their first choice goalkeeper?
Ashley Maynard is current first keeper. They've got Will Mannion as backup. I personally think he's better than both of them combined. So yeah, Tickle will be a good addition for him. I personally do not see us keeping him. I think everyone's come to terms that he's definitely going in the summer. Do you agree with that?
Well, a good couple of our players have left since new ownership, and I think people would be right to assume that he's going. But I mean, I like to be optimistic until a proper sort of rumor materializes. I think, there's a pretty good chance he'll go in the summer. But then again, does he feel like he's going to be ready for that step to higher up football?
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I think he's had good experience. I think Maloney made a good bond. I mean, Maloney's the reason he's got to this point. If that had been for another manager, he probably might not have succeeded. The final thing I'm going to say to quit. Obviously, James Carragher called up to the Malta squad. He's been granted his not citizenship. What's the word? He's been granted permission. Let's say that. I don't know what the actual term is, but a big call for him. I mean, it certainly looks like he's ruling out any chance of playing for England in the future. But Malta, the next best thing for him. Interesting. Do you agree, Curtis?
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting one, but I mean, big congratulations to him, though. It'd be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously, I mean, I think he was in by the personal squad, so but he's not like he's. I mean, he's not up there with the first choice names, but he will be. I'm sure he will be looked on if they need him. But yeah, all the best to James. Finally getting the credit and the limelight he deserves. And I think with that, I don't think I've got even more to add. Have you, Kurt?
No, not really. I mean, in terms of international call-ups, we've also got Toby Civic, and and who was the other one?
Dale Taylor, Northern Ireland.
Dale Taylor, yeah.
Deserved, very deserved. I mean, I don't think I need to say any more than Dale Taylor, to be honest. I mean, his name certainly one of the best names in League One. Well, maybe not as much League One, but definitely in the Wigan team. Best name and best player in form since for a while. I mean, now Asgard's left, he's next best player got really. But yeah, I think with that, thanks for watching, guys. Been a very fun one to talk about today. A lot happened today, obviously. 2-week break, which we do apologise for, but we are back now, and this is going to be back to a weekly thing. So thanks for the patience, thanks for bearing with us, and until next matchday vlog and until the next podcast, see you all soon. Stay safe, and peace out.